Well, bah humbug, look what Krampus brought me for Creepmas this year. This is an animated Scrooge that comes from Home Depot. He retails for about $200. I got him delivered to my home, and I'm very excited to open him up today. This is, in fact, the box he came shipped in, and I'm hoping there's a display box to show you right inside. Let's take a look. All right, we have our first disappointment of the holiday season. The first of many, I'm sure. There is no display box in our animated Scrooge figure. That's a shame, Home Depot. I guess we will be surprised as we put them together. So let's go ahead and see what's inside the box. It looks like it is packed full of lots of pieces. So we've got some support pieces. Some of this foam isn't even actually on any of these support pieces, which I'm a little disappointed by because then we got to figure out what goes to what. But there certainly are a lot of these. We have a hand holding the top of a cane. Look how creepy that is. His other hand holding a candle. It looks like it's even got snow on him. That or someone in China did a very bad paint job. Solid boots. Yes, definitely snow. Second one. Another support piece. It looks like this one's got the control box. We have a volume setting. We have a sensor off and on setting. And then it looks like the power adapter. A set of clothing. Another piece to his cane. It's very intricately carved out of plastic. All right, what's in the box? So I think we know what's in the box. Oh my God. That is just creepy. A creepy head in a box. I love that they put it in the box, honestly. Keeps it from getting broken. And then they did also stash the power adapter in the box. So my floor is a giant mess. Let me take Ebenezer here. We're going to clear off some space and let's get him put together. We do have a couple of pages of instructions with diagrams if we get lost. It looks like there are a few odds and ends pieces that I'm not too familiar with, so we might have to refer to these as we go. But let's just see if we can figure it out on our own. Starting with our base piece that's labeled A, and I'm going to find a couple of support pieces here that are labeled B, just like usual on all of these animatronics that we put together. We're just going to put them together in alphabetical order, and these support pieces have the push pins that go straight into the pipes here. They lock into place and you can't go wrong. We have these heavy plastic boots. They are identical, so there's not really a right and a left, but they are labeled C. Let's just go ahead and put them in place. It looks like on the base, there is a portion of metal that sticks up. That's going to help the boot remain oriented in the forward direction. Here we go. Next we have a couple of leg pieces. Now they are slightly different, so you want to pay attention to which one goes where. The D actually goes in the back and the E goes in the front. Next we're going to take some of that loose foam packaging and slide it over the leg tubes. That's going to help give these legs a little bit of body. It's time to put on his pants next. I'm a little surprised how frayed the bottom of the pants look. I mean, that is actually an intentional design. We'll take a closer look at that here in a bit. But I don't believe Ebenezer Scrooge, is this supposed to be like zombie Ebenezer Scrooge? I mean, he does look very creepy, but I would expect him to have better pants than this. Maybe it's because he's a miser? I don't know. Next, we can put on his hip piece. There is, of course, only one direction that this can go in for the pins to fit. And now we can pull his pants up and in place. Next up, we have his torso piece. There are a few wires coming off the back. It looks like we've probably got a connection for the sensor, one for his head, and then something for his arm that lights up as well. Let's go ahead and snap this into place again. Only one direction it can possibly go. The cord is about maybe 7 feet tall, so it's not going to go too far past his leg. But let's just go ahead and shimmy this down his pant leg so that we're not going to see it dangling down. And then it just plugs straight into the back. Next up, we have his upper body clothing. Let's go ahead and open this up. So it looks like it's a nice full suit. Look at that. So we've got a nice red velvet vest. He's got a tie, nice collared shirt. Of course, it's all just kind of one piece, or well, multiple pieces of fabric sewn together. It's not actual individual pieces of clothing. The back has Velcro, so we can open it up about halfway. Next, we have to shimmy the arm pieces up through the sleeve and connect them by the 2 little prongs into the 2 little tubes. He is starting to come together. Let's get this next arm on. The second arm was a bit more of a challenge because of the bend in it. And one thing, of course, I realized as I was doing this, it does have this fake snow on his outfit. So you're going to want to make sure that's oriented upwards as well, because obviously the snow would be on top of his arm. We do also have on this one a couple of connections. So there's a wire that's going to connect to his hand, and then the other one from the upper part of his arm that we need to connect inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's simple. It just snaps together. Next, we're going to take his hand that's holding the candle. It also connects with the slot and tube mechanism. It just slides right in. And then we're going to connect these 2 cables right here. And then we can pull the sleeve down onto his hand where there is some Velcro to hold it into place. This is where things get a little different from our standard animatronics. We have another brace pole that is going to snap into the front of the base portion. And this is where his cane is going to sit. Take his 2 pieces of the cane, they screw together. Once again, the top portion of the hand is going to slot into place, and then the bottom of the cane as well is going to slide right over that pole. And now we can hold it all together with this piece of Velcro. I'm not sure what would possess them to put the label, which is Q by the way, for the head right on the front of the face, but I just scraped that off. I don't know what, they could have put that on the back or something where you wouldn't see it. Let's go ahead as well and slot this into the neck and then connect the cable. His activation sensor is right here. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in while I have this open in the back. Before we close him up, we're going to put on his back piece. Now this is the first I've seen like this. There is a wing nut here that we're going to take off. Once we slide this back piece in here, we're going to put that wing nut back on, and that's going to prevent this back piece from coming out. I like that. And now we can close up the back of his jacket with these Velcro tabs. We are almost done. We just need to put some finishing touches on, including this nice red scarf. And his top hat, complete with hair. There are some Velcro tabs in the front and the back to help keep it in place. And he is complete. What do you think? He is very creepy. Let's go ahead and bring the camera in and we'll take a closer look. Starting with the face, I love how scary this face is. I almost wish he looked a little bit older. I mean, he does have the gray hair. He doesn't scream like ancient to me for some reason, which is unfortunate. I think he looks a little too full in the face, but he does have wrinkles, and look at those scary eyes and teeth. On top of his hat, you can see that snow effect. It looks very festive with the holly there on his hat. A little too festive, perhaps, for Ebenezer Scrooge. Maybe this is after he was visited by the 3 ghosts. We have that holly effect here on his candle as well. Now his hands look even more creepy. I guess, look at that. You have his thumb sticking through his glove. Because he's such a miser, he's not going to replace his gloves. That's probably why his pants are also shredded. You have this nice dripping wax effect on the candle. Absolutely love it. Here in the other hand, again, you can see the fingers coming through. That is so cool. We're going to have to remove that sticker. Look at the cane effect. And as we get down to his boots, you also see the snow right on top of them. The laces and all very detailed. Of course, the pant effect that I've been complaining about, but I can see now why they're doing it. As we make our way up, you can see his shirt and vest. He's got a little tie here as well, a little bit hidden by his scarf. Look at the snow effect on the clothing. Some of it looks a little suspect, like these almost look like stars as opposed to snow, but it's still a neat design. It even has real buttons on the jacket. And I just can't get over those eyes. I do like that they made his eyebrows a different color as well. They actually match his eyes. That's a nice coordinating effect. All right, it's time to see him in action. Let's go ahead and plug him in.
Everyone is being so cheerful. Blah. Now they're singing together. Humbug! Don't spill your kindness and compassion onto me. What is with all of these festivities? Does anyone want to work anymore? And who do you think is going to pay the electricity bill? Turn those lights off. All this goodwill towards my fellow man nonsense? Nonsense! Ooh, and all this infernal carol singing. All this happy merrymaking has driven me to madness. Shoo! Away from me! What is that insulting smell? Fruitcake? Gingerbread cookies? Bleh! How disappointing! Thanks, but I'd rather eat soggy cardboard. Bah! Cut it out with all the sugar and sparkles, would you? All these companies giving additional days off and Christmas bonuses? Bah! You expect to start at the top and retire instead of working your way up like I did? You folks are just lazy. Send out the eviction notices tomorrow. I don't care if it is Christmas. They should have thought about that and paid on time. It isn't personal, it's just business.
All right, so what do you think about my good friend Ebenezer here? First thing I have to say is I'm very impressed with the size of him. He is much taller than I anticipated. I thought he was a 6-foot prop, but I'm 6'4", and he towers over me. So he's got to be a good 7-foot prop if he's anything. And I think the costuming is great. The fabrics are really well done. Love the design of the hands. Again, that face could be a little different, but that's taste. The only thing I kind of wish is that his face would actually face up a little bit more forward, because it's like he's facing down. But because he's so tall, I guess that makes sense. Like if you had a kid or something standing there, that would be really scary for the kid, right? As he towers and looks down upon him. But it'll probably work well in my display because I'm going to put him in that window right over there. We're on the second floor, so he'll be like looking down upon the street below. And hopefully give any of those little kids passing by a little bit of a scare. That's only a temporary look too, because I may end up actually putting him outside. I have realized I've never actually read the Christmas Carol book, so I'm reading it right now. It's not really a book, it's like a story, right? So I want to find out the true he's visited by 4 ghosts really, right? His business partner, Jacob Marley, and then the ghosts of Christmas, past, present, and future. And I know the Christmas future is like a Grim Reaper, I think. So I'm going to pull out my Halloween Grim Reaper. I'm going to make an Ebenezer tombstone because I believe he shows him his grave, right? I don't know. Going to have to read the story. And then I'm going to make a little scene outside. So I'm kind of bringing Creepmas out into the display. I've never really done a display for Christmas, but it's about time. So he is a good start. So you're going to have to stay tuned to see how that turns out. And I can't wait to show that to you. But in the meantime, let's talk. Leave me a comment below of what you think about him. At the end of the video here, I will show him in the window, but that is going to do it for today. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining our Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. Until next time, take care and happy Creepmas.
What is with all of these festivities? Does anyone want to work anymore? And who do you think is going to pay the electricity bill? Turn those lights off! All this goodwill towards my fellow man nonsense? Nonsense! Ooh, and all this infernal carol singing. All this happy merrymaking has driven me to madness. Shoo! Away from me!